Okay. Hi, my friends. Today's lesson for math is 10-4, and it's about comparing fractions on a number line today. So if you watched the video, you saw that they compared the same denominator on the number line, which was real easy. They kept it simple. So if you had, let's say, we had 3/4, and we want to know which one's greater, 3/4 or 1/4. Okay, so which one's greater? We're going to draw a number line. Okay, so remember when we start at the 0, we hop. This would be 1/4. We want to make sure that there's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be our whole, which is 4/4. And then this is 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. So if I were to find these on the number line, here is 1/4, and here is 3/4. The one farthest to the right is the greater number. So 3/4 then is greater than 1/4. Okay, so most of the time you're going to be comparing fractions with the same denominator for this particular lesson. And then sometimes you get into things when they don't have the same denominator. So if they don't have the same denominator, you still need to use the number line, but use it with the same length. Just like in our fraction strip, you want it over the same whole. And if you're getting confused when they have different denominators and the number line isn't helping you, you can always go back to the fraction strips because that will help you. You have to use your tools. Use the tools that you have. So if I had, let's say, 2/4, and I wanted to know if 2/4, which one was bigger, 2/4 or 2/3. Now remember, different denominators, but they have the same numerator, and we just learned that in the last lesson. So you should already know which one is greater. But for the purposes of the lesson for 10-4, we're doing number lines. So I would have to draw a number line that would have the same length for both. Okay, same thing, I'm going to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be 4/4 or 1 whole. And then this is 1/4, 2/4, and 3/4 and 4/4. Now this time, I want to have the denominator, my number line should only have 3 spots. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3. And this is 3/3 or 3/3 or 1 whole. Okay, and this would be 1/3 and this would be 2/3. Now if you're comparing them and I want to know which one is greater, well, here is my 2/4 and here is my 1/3. And what we learned the other day is that if the denominators are different but the numerators are the same, then the one with the smaller number on the denominator is actually the bigger fraction. So 2/4 is less than 2/3. And I'll show you on our fraction strip. So if the number lines aren't helping you figure that out, so here's 2/4 and here's 2/3, it's farther down the number line. Okay, if that's not working for you, then you go back to your fraction strips. Okay, and here's 2/4, 1, 2. And then here's 2/3, 1, 2. And 2/3 is farther down, just like a number line. If I were to use this as a number line, it would show you 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. So you can use this as your number line as well. Okay, so keep that in mind. The last thing I want to show you today is the practice pages. You're going to do 10-4 reteaching and practice. And then when you get to these practice pages, whoops, of course I lost my pen just like I do at school. When you get to these practice pages, see if I have something that works in here. This one is comparing by eighths and fourths. But when you go and count this, when you go down the number line, okay, remember each hop we take is 1, and then you want to know what the whole you want to know what it's all divided out of. Remember what's the whole number down at the bottom. So you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 jumps. So this number line is out of 8 eighths. So then when we start at the first, here's 0. We start at A, this would be 1/8. B, this would be 2/8. C, this would be 3/8. 4/8. 5/8. 6/8. 7/8. Okay, so that's how you're going to go down, and you're going to make sure that you're labeling everything. And then they're going to ask you what letter is being represented by that number. Now they don't, here they say 3/4. But you want to know what is comparable on this number line to 3/4. Well, I'm going to go to my fraction strip. And I'm going to look at my eighths, and I'm going to look at my fourths, and I'm going to say, here's 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and where this line matches up is where it's comparable to 3/4 on my eighths number, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6/8, and 3/4 end up in the same spot. Okay, so you just have to find then 6/8, which is letter what? Which is F. So 3/4 is F. Or, use your fraction strips because it'll help you the most. Or you can skip hop. So if I want to take eighths now, this number line, and change it into fourths, I'm going to go up here at the top so you can see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I jumped 4. So this spot here would be 1/4. This spot here would be 2/4. This spot here would be 3/4. And this, of course, is 1, which is 4/4, which makes the whole number. Okay, and now you can compare them. And it kind of makes sense when you look here that half of 8 is 4. Half of 4 is 2. This then being 1/2. This is half of the number line. Whether it's eighths or fourths, this is still halfway. Okay? All right, so that was a lot. Again, if the denominator is the same, you need one number line. If there's 2 different denominators, then you need 2 number lines, like this. But you have to make sure that they stay the same lengths. Okay? And always try to look. If there's different denominators, you better be looking up at the top to see if they're the same number. They should be easy to compare. And if you don't want to use the number lines and it's too confusing to you, then go back to the fraction strips, because it's exactly the same. It's still showing you the same thing. Okay? All right, again, if you have any questions, please have your parents reach out to me, and I'm always available to meet with you in a small group, and we can figure it out together. All right? Happy math learning. Bye.